If you feel like network has felt a little bit abstract so far, like we're moving packets around in some invisible world, this is the week we stop pretending and deal with the messy reality of wires, radio waves, interference, and hardware that occasionally behaves like it woke up on the wrong side of bed. This module is about why the link layer exists. No Ethernet frames yet, not MAC addresses yet, just the reason this layer had to be invented, because the internet isn't magic, it's a bunch of devices trying to communicate over the imperfect physical stuff, and the link layer is what makes that possible. Let's connect all the dots between the layers you already know. The network layer is like, I know where this packet needs to go. It picks a path. The transport layer is more like, cool, I'll make sure the data gets there reliably. But neither one actually moves the data across the physical connection sitting in front of you. Here's the easiest way to picture it. Imagine you wrote the perfect address on a package. That's the network layer. And you wrote the instructions like, deliver all the parts in order. That's the transport layer. Awesome, but the package is still on your porch and someone has to pick it up and physically move it down the street to the next stop. That pickup and handoff job, that's the link layer. And it matters because every hop is different. Wi-Fi at home, Ethernet in building, fiber is a backbone. The link layer is the translator that says, okay, for this connection, here's how we need to package it and move this packet safely across the internet. So let's talk about the reason this layer actually exists. Signals degrade. Copper has resistance, wireless has interference. You could do everything absolutely 100% correct at layer 3 and 4 and still lose that data because someone decided to close a metal door. They walked between an access point and your laptop, or, God forbid, somebody decided to cook their lunch in a microwave. You got to remember that all that interference can actually cause that 1 to turn into a 0, and computers don't do good enough very well. One flip bit, and all of a sudden that perfect valid message turns into garbage. So we have to remember that mediums are shared. This one's big. On Wi-Fi, everybody is shouting into the air at the same time. If two devices talk at the same time, it means like two people answering a question simultaneously. You get a mashup and nobody understands anything. And hardware differs. Different NICs, network interface cards, different speeds, physical technologies and topologies. The link layer exists to tame all of that to make the physical world behave predictably enough that higher layers can actually pretend that it's clean and good enough to actually transmit on. The link layer is local. One hop at a time, your device talks to the next device in line. That's it. It does not know the whole route. It doesn't care about the whole route. It's not building an internet map. It's just the data across the next connection reliably. So what does that mean in practice? Every hop uses a frame. That's specific to that link. Your Wi-Fi frame gets its information from the router, and then the router strips that frame off, keeps the IP packet, and builds a brand new Ethernet or fiber frame for the next hop. I like the shipping center analogy. Your data is the product inside the box and label change at every warehouse. The contents stay the same, but the package gets rebuilt for the next leg of the trip. That's how we stitch together thousands of different networks and technologies and still have end-to-end delivery. Now, I know framing sounds boring until you realize it's what keeps the whole system from turning into random noise. If you just blast bits onto a wire, the receiver has a problem. Where does the message start? Where does it end? Imagine me handing you a paragraph with no spaces, no punctuation, and no line breaks. You could decode it, but you'd pretty much hate me. Frames solve that by creating boundaries. They say, here is one complete unit of data. They also include local addressing so the frame knows which device on this link is intended to receiver. They typically include error detection so you can tell if the frame got damaged in transit. So framing is structure, identity, and integrity wrapped all nice and neat into one local delivery unit. Shared media is where networking starts acting like a group project. When multiple devices share a link, especially in wireless, two bad things can happen: collisions and wasted time. If two devices transmit at the same time, their signals interfere and you get something that's basically unusable. The link layer needs rules. Who talks first? Who waits? How long do you wait? What if someone keeps hogging the channel? These rules are what we call multiple access control. Personal anecdote time: if you've ever been in a Zoom call where two people started talking at once, then both stop, then both start again, it's like a little awkward dance where no one really knows where to start and when to stop, right? That's basically what a network is trying to avoid. A good link layer strategy keeps the medium usable and keeps the network from feeling randomly slow. So let's talk about error protection. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Even good networks have errors. Cables bend, connectors wear out, interference comes and goes, and the link layer treats every frame like it might be damaged, and it checks it. Usually this is done with a checksum or CRC. Think of it like a tamper-evident seal, right? The center computes a value based on the bits in the frame, and the receiver computes it. If the values don't match, you know something changed. Then what? Typically, the link layer drops the frame. That sounds harsh, but it's actually pretty smart. Damaged data is worse than missing data. Higher layers like TCP can recover from retransmitting. The link layer's job is to make sure corrupt frames don't quietly sneak through and cause weird behaviors later on. This is how the stack stays sane. Each layer does its part, and no layer tries to do everyone else's job. The link layer exists because physical transmission is imperfect. It's shared, and let's be honest, it's really messy. This creates structure with frames, coordinates access when multiple devices share a medium, and checks for corruption so bad data doesn't creep upward. Once the link layer does its work, the network layer can make routing decisions as if the next hop were actually dependable, and the transport layer can handle reliability end-to-end without micromanaging every cable and radio wave. So when you hear the link layer bridges logic and physics, well, that's not a slogan. That's literally what's happening. It turns electrical reality into something the rest of the protocol stack can safely build upon. Next up, we're going to start looking at how real technologies like Ethernet implement these ideas into actual frame formats and behaviors.